have to help you in every aspect of your lawn, gardening, and landscaping needs. We have awesome lawn decor, everything from metal art to whatever you might need to spruce up your garden. Our quality of produce is #1. Prices are easily comparable to anywhere. Think about your spring flower beds right now. We need to get going, make that soil ready, and get our planting shoes on. So come on down to Megan's Market and we'll make you a great deal. Not only can we give you the knowledge you need, but our goal is your success.
Welcome back to yet another Eastland County Today Live. Today we're going to be covering the little town of Ranger. Quite a few of you guys know where Ranger is located. And without any further ado, I'm going to allow HV here to take the wheel.
Thank you, Jason. You might add that he's a native of Ranger. Did you people know that?
Yes.
Good to have you, Troy and Penny. It's so good to sit down and visit with you, both of you. And I see you have thought in advance about what you'd like to convey. And I may jump in any time if I may.
Please do.
And you both just be comfortable to tell us. I read the complete story about the accomplishments, and I'm so pleased with all the good things that's happened over there. I'm just thrilled to death. And there may be others that I don't know about, so you tell us about them.
Okay, well, first off, I'm Mayor Troy Emery, and I have about 2 weeks left on my term.
I hate to hear that, but I understand.
Well, have some family issues that have come up, and we're kind of prioritizing, and family becomes more important. But what really came here to talk about was kind of a dual effort thing. The lady sitting to my left here, Penny Kate, I brought her on about a year ago as my city administrator for the city of Ranger, and we have been really, I think, trying to make a difference for our community. And instead of being the city that everybody goes, oh my gosh, don't go there, it's going to be a bedroom community, we're trying to revive. And it's a slow process. I mean, Ranger didn't get broke overnight.
No.
And it sure isn't going to get fixed overnight. So that's what we're working on, little things, and hopefully we'll cause big things. Recently we had someone was asking us about this project called Project Roaring Fire, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, what are you going to do? Burn the city down?" And it's like, "Oh no! It's a term that we use because it's a project that could cause a fire in Ranger for revitalization, and that's what we're really hoping is that
we got their attention. That's
yes, we got their attention exactly, and we're hoping to get people to start looking at Ranger as a possibility again. We've taken a big loss over the years with opportunities, and we're just taking the opportunity now to try to put something back in place and get the city back on the map again in a good light. So
from what I hear and from what I read, you have really made some giant steps, and it makes us all feel so much better because, as you probably are aware, one of my personal goals is to get these towns closer together and more united.
Yes.
For years we've been here and we've been there, and we've all suffered as a result of that. If we would just get together on some things, I preach, and I see you moving in that direction, and that's good.
Well, and you've heard the old terminology. Oh, you're from that city.
That hurts.
It does hurt. I mean, I'm not an original Ranger native. I mean, I moved here from San Angelo after I retired from the military, and I chose Ranger to move to. I want to be part of this community. I wanted to give back after my time in the military and the citizens given to me during my time, 20 years plus in the Navy. I wanted to be able to give back, and this was my opportunity to give back. I've been involved with the city one way or another since February of 2008. I was their city secretary for just shy of 3 years. Then I came back after a few month break and came back as a commissioner for 2 years. And then as of recently, 2 years as their mayor.
Let me interrupt you. Now, as I understand it, this election cycle, we are going to re-elect the entire commission.
Yes, sir.
That's right. But we are gradually going toward I don't know what you properly call it, but
A staggered term.
staggered term. So I know now that leads me to wonder, does that mean that you have been able to amend your old charter? So you got that hurdle passed?
Yes, November.
Okay,
Our last election in November of 2014.
The public needs to bear down on that. That I know other cities lived under those old charters for so many years.
And we still live underneath an old charter from 1919 with a few amendments over the years.
But we have made some amendments.
But we have made some amendments, and there's still proposals on the table that will eventually come as we grow and start coming more into this century.
Right.
You know, little things like, you know, it's illegal to ride a velocipede down Main Street of Ranger. So, you know, it's little rules like that, the old blue laws, as they would call them, that we're trying to update slowly but surely. And one of the most recent things we did at the November 2014 election is we put it on the ballot to stagger the terms. And in order to do that, 2 of our commissioner positions are only going to be taking a 1-year term at this election. The other 3, the mayor and 2 commissioners, will be actually taking a 2-year term. And therefore, every year we're going to be having an election, and either 2 commissioners or a mayor and 2 commissioners will be going out every other year.
That's good. You have continuity.
Yes, continuity of leadership, exactly. Because nothing's worse than what has happened. For me, my personal opinion, what's happened over the years is the entire city council goes at one time. And I mean, your whole leadership goes. And if you don't have a wonderful city administrator and a great, I call her my right hand, and I call Mary Wells my left hand.
I understand.
And if it wasn't for the 2 of them, there would be no continuity of leadership at City Hall. So, and that's part of the reason why,
let me inject. One of our neighbors is voting May 9 for a change of charter, I guess, concerning does the city manager have to live in city limits? We went through that many years ago here in Eastland because a good man was living at the lake, and there were citizens who said, well, the charter says so and so.
Right.
And that's so ridiculous.
And this is actually how we address that. We actually have basically 2 titles. We have a city administrator or a city manager.
I see.
City manager has to live inside the city
under
limits,
the charter.
Under the charter.
But the administrator doesn't.
The administrator can live in any town.
Oh, that's good.
And that has allowed us to not, and I'm careful with, just saying only, staying within our community. It's allowing us to reach out a little further and bring in
talent.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And we were able to bring in Penny, and she's made my life much more manageable, because there for about 9 months I didn't have a city administrator, nor did I have a public works director. And in those absences of those positions, the mayor pretty much had
to do. Well, I read where you now have those positions, the administrator, the public works, police chief. Those are pretty firm now, aren't they?
Yes, sir.
That's good.
Yeah. My only other position I've kept really firm over the city council has kept firm over the years has been our fire department. We've got
he's a natural, isn't he?
Yes, we got Chief Fox out there. He's been out there for many, many years.
Boy, he is solid gold.
And he is very beneficial to the city, and that's kind of where I wanted to go with the rest of my leadership of my city. So I wanted to bring in the talent to keep people there instead of every 6 months having to change employees out. I want to get people in there that are going to be like Daryl Fox. They're going to be there 34 years. 20 years. Recently Shirley Griffith retired after 20 years of service to the city. Those are icons. Those are people that have been with us and have stuck through it thick and thin. And that's what I want to create, is more of a family
I hate to use this term, but they know where the bodies are buried.
they know all the town's secrets.
They do. But that's what makes everything fall into place, is because if we don't have those people, all the new people, they don't know where stuff's at.
Right.
So we have to have those older people that've been there forever.
Absolutely.
So we know
what's going on.
And we talked about continuity of leadership. Joe Pilgrim is one of my current commissioners.
Yes.
He's stepping up, running for mayor. Commissioner Deaver's running for another term. They're both on my city council now, and we have technically we already have 3 people that are elected. We have Miss Jeannie Pruitt, we have Mr. John Casey, and Miss Esther.
Because
Pierce.
they have no opponent.
They have no opponents, so
Okay.
technically they're already elected, and they'll be taking seat after our last city council meeting. And then the other 2 positions are in contention. So hopefully, we'll continue to see good things coming out of Ranger.
Well, I really was impressed by the things you've listed here, and I'm glad you enumerated them. People
Well,
need to know.
Exactly. And I mean, a lot of people are like, my road hasn't been taken care of yet. You're on the list. We're
Yeah.
really working towards it. It's not we're banking money down at City Hall so that we'll never take care of anything. If people really, get out and look, there's been a big change, especially since 2008 when we started the biannual cleanups with the college and with
Right.
the Ranger Citizens Task Force. I mean, imagine what the city looked like in 2008 compared to what it looks like now in 2015.
Some of us remember.
Yes, and a lot of people are like, well, it's still dirty. Well, yes, it is still dirty,
Yeah.
but Ranger hasn't been a leader in having a lot of finances, but we're getting there. Our auditor came in and actually commended the current city
I
council.
read that.
for
I was
their
very
efforts, and says that we're going in the right direction to where eventually we can start doing more stringent code enforcement, ordinance enforcement, and start getting our town cleaned up. Because the worst thing that can happen is a prospective business comes in, looks at the town and goes, wow, y'all are really dirty.
Yeah.
But we've made progress. And I just wanted to kind of highlight that this is what your current city council's done in the last 2 years. And some of this has been continuation from current city council. So I'm not by any means taking credit for like the TxDOT rest areas.
Right.
That's been a process that's gone on for like 10 years now that we've worked through with TxDOT and keeping our mouths shut and not saying things to let the cat out of the bag. So some of these we finished up and have brought them to fruition, but a lot of it we have created, and
Do we have a hint on when the opening of the parks will be or not?
That I'll actually let that one go to my city administrator.
At first we were told probably in April. Now I think they're looking more like in the latter part of May or early
Well, that's
June,
good.
somewhere
I mean,
around
yeah.
there. They still don't have all of the infrastructure of the roads finished, I think, and so that's what they're working on.
And they don't want to open
mostly.
up both of them, or open up one of them without the other one. They want to open both at the
Same time.
They are going to be great facilities.
I think that's
They're
going to be
beautiful.
pluses
Very
that we
beautiful.
can't even imagine.
There's playgrounds on both of them for kids.
And
There'll be
then,
exhibits.
and then the city of Rangers also providing the water and sewer lines all the way out
Well,
there.
I knew
so-
you were a key factor in that you had to give them water and take care of their sewage.
Yeah.
And that was not cheap or easy, was it?
Not on the state's behalf. It wasn't cheap because it's
Yeah.
none of it was on cost to the city, other than letting them disturb all of our right of ways and getting everything hooked in and stuff like that. And then we got
Well, now
all
you've
the
done
properties.
how many borings?
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
I mean, to go under.
Yeah, because we had to take the water and the sewer to both sides of the highway. Because the sewer runs on one side and the water runs on the other side. But when you get to each rest area, the water and sewer lines have to cross
go
over.
over,
to serve
yeah,
each.
sure.
So it's like the sewer line runs on the north side, all the way out to the Ranger Hill.
Yeah.
And the water line runs on the other side, almost all the way out there. Then it bores under and goes over to the rest area. So yeah, a lot of work there, and a lot of contractor and engineering, mind melding to make everything work.
In that respect, is the railroad people still working out of your town, so to speak?
Yes, they still have their one of their offices at the museum downtown in Ranger, and actually they've been beneficial in many aspects.
There's a lot of
to
people
us.
come in and out of there. Yeah.
Yes.
Just recently there has been, because they have their, what were they calling it? This machine that they had there.
Yeah.
Oh, the Dynacab.
Yeah.
So there was lots of people
Yeah.
coming and going, and
Yeah.
still are.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I noticed that the trailer park stays full. Looks like.
And I think some of that is some of the local utility workers and that are in the area. There's a company called Strike that's been in the area. I know some of them have been staying, in our area. But like I said, I mean, there's a lot going on. I mean, please read your Eastland County newspaper. We've listed many things that we've worked on, and
I absolutely was astounded at all the things we've done.
I mean, I don't know if you want me to mention any of them at all or anything.
Well, you and I have kind of dominated this. We need to let that lady talk a little bit.
Well, she's actually, besides what's in the newspaper, she's come up with some other stuff that we've been newly working on.
Yeah, that we've been working on, some new projects that we've got going on. And we've been working with a grant writer for new water meters to either have drive-by or the ones that actually come to
automatic.
So she's working with us on that, trying to get us a grant for that.
Doesn't that cut down payroll?
It will. Well,
to a point, someone still has to go out and drive into, say, like Pine Street or something, and let all the meter readings come to the central computer. But I don't think it's going to really cut down. It's going to allow us to use our workforce more efficiently.
That's what I was going to say.
Instead of pulling them whenever they're up mowing the park or the cemetery or something, they can actually continuing to do that while someone goes out and does the meter readings.
Because recently we have to split our groups up. We have a water and sewer side now, and we have a parks and street side, which we've got we're trying not to pull the street side to come to the water side, things like that, where they can do more. And since we have done that, they have been able to work on a lot of streets, and there are
improvements.
Some
Absolutely.
new equipment from the 1033 program. And so
Well, I've had citizens tell me that it's not perfect, but it sure is improved.
And it has.
Well, and hopefully we'll continue to see that. I mean, I think we've kind of kicked the ball going in the right direction.
You're right.
And and I hope that we'll continue. And,
I
coming back to
drive
those,
by, yes.
I
drive by and take pictures of holes in the roads and take them back to them.
But going back to those meters you mentioned earlier, the meters, we're already starting to install some of the bases now. As we've come across bad meters, we're putting the proper bases in to allow us, when we go to the electronic meters, we've already got the base installed. All we got to do is screw the new top on. So we're already kind of in the process, but we need to get that funding if it comes through on the grant to finish buying the rest of the system, so we can actually get it fully installed.
Good.
She's also, the grant writer is also trying to help us fund a hotel to come to Ranger. She has some prospects. She's, got
they look at our towns, and those are the things that help us bring in taxes.
Yes. And also we're looking for a Parks and Wildlife grant to either redo our whole park and swimming pool, or to upgrade, to make changes. And she's not sure if she can get us a full grant to reconstruct the whole thing, or if she could get us one where we can just go in and fix what's wrong.
Right.
So,
Ranger has such a rich history, and and the college is there, and I know it is such an asset.
It is.
And like I said, we've enjoyed a good. I think, especially in the last 2 years, I think we've enjoyed a rather strong relationship.
I hear that the relationship is very strong. That Dr. Campion and his people are, they work with you and you work with them, and that's good.
I think Dr. Campion has me on speed dial.
We recently, that was one of the things that we had to do, because there was, and I don't know for sure what it is, but a new business was looking at property there in town that was related to school, and they wanted them to make improvements to their roads at the school, the college. And so our guys went out and filled all the potholes and fixed all the streets where it would look better. And I think he was really pleased with that.
Sure. Yeah, that's working together. Yeah.
So we've done that. And I actually did the cleanup with them last year. Trust me,
you know where the trash was.
I know where the trash is.
Oh, that's good.
I picked up many things and threw in the big dumpsters. And
well, it seems to me that since he came there, that the college is growing and expanding and adding students, and and projects that
Yes.
are beneficial to all.
I agree.
Training nurses and so forth.
Yep.
And they've got some really good athletes there now.
Yes, yes.
So, girls and boys.
Rich history.
Girls and boys. So I met one of the golfers that first thing when he first got here, and he was from somewhere way far off, a different country. I'm
Yeah.
not sure where he was from, but I asked him, because I play golf, HB,
Yes.
and I asked him, I said, what is your handicap? And he said, 0. And I'm like,
Really?
okay.
My
So I knew
word.
right then and there I would never be playing golf with him, but
That's amazing.
and he's pretty much held to that, I think. So
Jason, we need to zero in on that boy. Yeah, that
People
is-
ask me what my handicap in golf is. I say golf.
that's me. That's me. Yeah.
I shoot in the 90s, 100s, somewhere around there. But it's been, and I want to talk a little bit about training, because our council has been very generous with training our employees. We send our wastewater guys to trainings. We send our office girls to training. I've been to multiple trainings.
Well, I read in here you went to something.
Oh, well, me and Joe Pilgrim went
Pilgrim,
to the
yeah.
NIMS, the emergency management program, and it was very extensive. The books are like this tall,
Yeah.
tall. And we did the IS 100, 200, 700, and 800 online. And then we had to go to in classroom for 3 days to the first one, which was the IS 300. And then we went back for 2 days for the IS 400.
Is this a
So-
continuing?
Well, we have reached our highest level that we can reach for our state or city,
Right.
whatever, but they informed us that they did have another one that we could go to, which is the IS 304, I think, which would be national. And
Yeah.
I told him I didn't think we wanted to do that.
And-
Thank
and-
you for telling us, but I think we're happy where we're at.
Yeah.
And also let me
So-
clarify about this training. This training is actually in order for the city of Ranger to continue to apply for grants in the
It
future.
just
Yes.
opens doors.
This certification
Well,
is
we have to
actually
have it.
mandatory.
Yeah.
Your city administrator, city manager needs to be certified in this,
Yeah.
and one of your elected officials needs to be certified in it.
So you've got both right
And
there.
right now we have both certified in it. If I was going to run for a second term, I would have been going through the training, but
Yeah.
I'd already made the decision ahead that I was going to step out and let someone else come up and take the reins. So Commissioner Pilgrim has already stepped up and went and done that training.
You're not leaving town.
Not yet.
Okay, I was going to say we made call on you.
Well,
Trust me,
I've-
we don't want him to leave.
I've already had several people that have already approached me about changing the venue of
Yeah.
leadership capabilities, and right now, like I said, with things going on with my family,
Well, those
Uh,
things come first.
family comes first, so-
Absolutely. I understand. Everybody understands, surely.
but she was talking about the training and stuff. Yeah, it's one of the things. Whenever I came in, I was like very adamant because when I was city secretary, I was the only person that was there in the city secretary's office, so I was never able to go away to training.
No.
And I know what it was like to try to learn all this stuff, without going to an actual school. So I've been very adamant with my employees, and of course, the more you train an employee, the more your employees are going to be loyal to you,
Absolutely.
and they're going to want to stay with you because
They
I
know.
think of them as family.
Yeah.
I know what's going on with my workers. I know what's going on with their dads or their mothers
Yeah.
or their children, and I often will ask them, how's Bobby Sue doing?
Yeah, yeah.
So, but it's important to get the employees trained because then they feel that there's a benefit to it, and then I've also have a standing policy when they get certified in things that benefit the city, like your water license
Yeah.
or your commercial driver's license. You're going to get a raise from the city
Sure.
because of that.
They
Because you're
deserve
making
it.
yourself more valuable.
Are you active in Texas Municipal League?
Yes.
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 Yes,
Okay.
we are.
Many years ago, back in the 70s, when I was on commission, I know they were tremendously helpful with leadership
Yes.
and direction and
I've been to multiple trainings for TMI.
right.
Yes,
Lots of
they
them.
have been very beneficial to our city.
And since we're a member, most all of those have been free training.
Yeah, yeah. I
So,
was always impressed with the what was available through them.
and they have a lot.
Yeah.
So,
Then there's also for city secretaries, there's the Blue Bonnet
Blue
group,
Bonnet group.
which
Yeah.
helps our city secretary. There's kind of a city secretary group that if you've never seen this before, you can reach out to your fellow city
Yeah.
secretaries. Hey, have you ever done this before? And that has helped our city secretary tremendously.
Yeah, Mary's
there's
my right hand
TMCM.
person. He says I'm his right hand person, but Mary and me have this thing. We can, if I can't figure it out, she can. If she
Well,
can't figure it out, I can.
You know, the
We
average
work really
person
well
doesn't realize how
together.
complicated it can get
Oh, it
sometimes.
can get
It
very
can very
complicated.
complicated. That's
And
right.
we have an office with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 women. And I've been there a whole year, and we all get along so great.
Now that's
We
harmony.
work so good together.
I often joke that there's less disturbances with my administrative folks than the male counterparts.
I say
Well,
that too.
Well, you know, just this past week, we encouraged one of our employees, a younger person, to go to a press training program at TCU. She came back, and that night when she got home, she called me at home and she said, "I just want to thank you for letting me go to this. It would just opened a new world for her."
Yeah.
you know.
Training is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yep.
But I just hope the new council coming in will continue to let us have training.
Yeah.
Because Troy makes fun of this, but we, me and the girls, we have been going to
I call
classes.
it girls night out.
Girls night out.
Yeah.
We've been going to classes on how to deal with difficult people, because the girls
There
up
are
front-
those.
the girls up front, they get everything. We
Everything.
might not get everything, but they do, and they have to deal with a lot of issues.
Well, and every
they
customer
need
that
to
has an
learn
issue
how.
comes in and yells at
Yeah.
the front desk, and it's not necessarily the girls at the front desk. It's it's something they're upset about because city council has enacted something, and they're upset. With
Why are
city
you
council.
doing this?
Yeah, right. And the girls at the front desk, and oftentimes the other offices, they take a lot of grief down there. So again, important training. And like I said, I do joke. We have city council meetings, and I'll be like, "Oh, here goes another girls' weekend." But really, it's getting them properly trained.
Sure. Well, your offices are a lot like ours. And I tell newcomers, anytime anybody walks through that door or the telephone rings, anything can happen. You never know.
That is true.
Anything.
Very, very true.
So you've got to be ready to meet this. Well, you have both been a joy to visit with this morning.
Thank y'all for inviting us.
And if either of you have anything you want to close with, we'll give you an opportunity. Jason is on a tight schedule, and I can't overwork him,
Yeah.
Well,
We've enjoyed having Jason.
Yeah,
We really have.
it's been nice having them there and giving
So,
an unbiased report on this is what happened at the city council meeting.
Great. That's what we want.
really
That's what the
enjoy it.
public wants.
Yeah, and I mean it's good reporting, and also talking about good reporting. Make sure you get out and read your Eastland County newspaper if you want to find out what we've been talking about today. Everything's listed there, and of course
Well,
my
that's what
offices.
that I read here.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Good,
Um,
good, good.
My offices are always open. I may not always be there, but I'm only a phone call away.
Right.
And I'll be happy. I mean, I would much rather, instead of rumors running around, speak to the horse, and I will tell you the what's and
The
ins
facts.
and outs.
Yeah.
And I'll give you the facts.
Yeah.
Just flat out.
And it's very important that you read your newspaper, because there's a wealth of information in there. And
Thank you for saying that. Now, I didn't
Yes.
tell you to say it.
And no, you didn't, but everybody, some people say, "Well, I never heard that," or "I never saw that," and I'm like, "Well,
Mhm.
did you read your newspaper? Because it's in the newspaper." Or have you looked at it online?
Yeah.
Or things
Yeah.
like that, and people were like, "Well, no."
Well, thank
And,
you
it
for
is a wealth of
that, because
information.
thanks to you, it is in the newspaper and our people, but working together. And if there's ever anything that we are not doing, let us know. Or if there are things that we could be doing, talk about it.
And that's the only way you can
Yeah.
get things resolved, is to talk.
Absolutely.
So, thank y'all for having us.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you. Jason, can you pay us now? We're through.
Sure, why not?
Oh, my. Well, this has been a treat.
All right,
And-
guys, this has been yet another Eastland County Today Live. You guys tune in next week. We'll end up having some more. We'll catch you guys next time.